Hello everyone. Today is October 10th. It is day 3 officially after my microdiscectomy surgery, which took place last Wednesday. Today is Saturday. And in this video I'd like to give you some ideas what to expect if you decide to go and get your uh, hernia removed using the microdiscectomy surgery. So today I'm feeling good. I don't have much pain. It is about 3 o'clock afternoon. Last time I took my pain medication was about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I have not had too much pain, but if I walk, I have to walk very slowly. Otherwise, I do feel pain during my walking. So aside from that, one thing that I'd like to mention, and this is something I mentioned in my previous episode, and that is constipation. It has been 4 days since I went to the bathroom, and this is something they briefly mentioned when I was taken into the surgery, and they said after the surgery it is normal to expect constipation and that some laxatives should be used. I have not used anything. I thought, it should be fine, but essentially it has been 4 days since I went to the bathroom, and I probably should have used something. I don't feel much pain in my stomach at this time. I've been using mostly liquid food, not much solid food, so it could be the reason why I haven't had much problems, but I hope this issue is going to go away. Aside from that, one other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is basically give you some idea what to expect the very first day you check in, and what I've actually gone through during my surgery on October 7th. So basically I was checked in around 9 o'clock in the morning. Before that, one thing I may or may not have mentioned is that 2 days before the surgery I was tested for COVID virus. They're gonna cancel your surgery if you test positive. So they will test you for COVID if you go in to make sure you don't have COVID, obviously for a number of reasons. First of all, they don't want to infect anyone else nearby during surgery, and second, if you are infected by COVID, you don't want to have the surgery in the first place, because trust me, if you cough or if you have sneezing or anything like that after the surgery, it is very painful. So I strongly recommend, if you test positive for COVID, or if you have COVID recently, to perhaps delay your surgery. So 2 days before the surgery they will test you for COVID to make sure you don't have COVID. I tested negative. So on Wednesday they checked me in at 8 o'clock. So first thing I did, they wanted me to completely change my clothes, to take everything off and put the gown. Before I put the gown on, they gave me some disinfectant towels, a couple of them, and they told me to completely wipe myself all the way, my neck all the way down to my feet. So that was necessary to make sure that you kill all of the bacteria. Night before and in the morning also they gave me some disinfectant detergent. They wanted me to take a shower with this detergent. This is a special type of detergent they use to wash their hands, or in the hospital that's what surgeons use. So it's not the same as the regular detergent or soap that you normally use. It's special, and it has some microbial properties. So they told me to shower with it night before and in the morning. After that, obviously, like I just mentioned, they gave me those towels, which I ended up using. They were, I believe, 6 individual towels, which I ended up using to completely wipe myself off before the surgery. After that, they put me on their bed. They checked me in. They asked all sorts of questions. They attached an IV to me, and then they gave me some medications to prepare me for the surgery. About 1 hour or 1 hour 20 minutes, they came in to pick me up. And from that moment on, just before they rolled me out from that room, from that part of the hospital, I fell asleep. They basically gave me anesthesia, and I fell asleep. I don't remember much past that moment when they actually came in to get me, right? So within a few seconds, I just basically fell asleep. So the very next thing I remember is I was in a different room. My vision was very blurred. I was not able to speak. I was not able to put together two words together. I simply wasn't able to speak. The words would not come out of my mouth. So my vision was also blurred. I was almost seeing double, and that's normal. That's to be expected with the having that anesthesia. And quite honestly, I am glad I did. I'm happy I don't remember anything. I'm happy that I don't remember anything about the surgery, what happened, how it happened. I am honestly glad I have not seen that. So like I said, first thing I remember, they woke me up, and then they said to me that the surgery is done. It happened within, like, to me, it felt like seconds, right? So like I said, they come to roll me out. That's where I fall asleep. The next thing I remember, it felt like a few seconds, and actually only like 2 or 3 hours had gone by between the two points in time. So they woke me up and they said the surgery is over, and the surgery went well. Everything was fine. Everything was great, and I am now in the recovery room, recovering basically. So in that room, my surgeon came over, and I asking one single question. That's what I was able to ask: how big the hernia was, and he said it was like this big. So it probably would have been anywhere between quarter inch and as much as half an inch. So this hernia, as I mentioned in my previous videos, was pressing against my sciatic nerve, and that was causing my pain to radiate down my left leg all the way throughout my whole leg, and that's where most of my pain came from before the surgery. So I'm happy to tell you that all since the surgery, I no longer have any pain in my left leg. The pain has completely gone away, and all I got left is the pain in my back. And I'm going to get up slowly to show you what it looks like after the surgery. So this is the bandage they put on, and this bandage is expected to stay on for about 10 days. And after 10 days, it can be taken off. So going back to that recovery room, I stayed inside of the recovery room, I would say about hour and a half. Most of the time I actually slept. I was relaxing, and the anesthesia was gradually loosening up, and I was feeling it was for me, it was feeling better and better. And then they texted my wife. They sent her a text, and this is another thing. Nowadays, if you have a wife or a spouse or whoever that's there with you, and my wife was there with me, if they sign up, they will be getting update messages. My wife was getting messages for each and every step of the procedure. So for example, when they moved me into the surgery room, she got a text after the surgery was done, and after about half an hour. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. The surgery itself, the actual surgery part, only took about 30 to 35 minutes from what they told me, basically. So the surgery was relatively quick. So my wife was getting those text messages, and she was getting real-time updates as I progressed through the process, right? So my wife received a message that it was okay for her to come back to the hospital, and that I was about to be moved back to the same room where I was checked in. So I went back to the same room, and I stayed inside of that room. Actually, it was a different room. No, it was a different room. So after the first recovery room, they moved me to another room, and I can tell because The second room, the first room did not have a door. It was just like a curtain that they pulled over. But the second room had a door, so it was a separate private room with a bathroom where I spent another hour and a half. And that's where my wife joined me, and two of us were there. And I quickly ended up regaining my ability to speak during this time. So the anesthesia does not last that long. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 hours at most, not if even. So after that, it just goes away. And you've seen in that one video that I published earlier that I was able to get up that same day. So altogether, I checked in around 9 o'clock in the morning, and I checked out around 3:30. So that's how long it took for this surgery to be taken care of, and for this issue to be taken care of, and for the surgery to be complete. So, and looking back, I'm glad I did it. I have quite a bit of time, quite a few days left ahead of me before I can tell whether or not this was completely successful and whether or not this was, the good thing to do. But from what I have been able to observe, it has not been too bad. The pain is relatively mild. It feels like a burning sensation at the back. It's not really a pain, because when they do this surgery, they have to, to get to the affected area, they have to go through muscles, and they do not cut the muscles. They have special tools which they use to spread muscle fibers and to spread them around. So they make a hole, but they don't cut. They don't cut a hole. They don't cut muscle fibers, which is another good thing nowadays. They don't need to cut anything. They just simply spread these muscle fibers with this special tool in order to come in and be able to remove the hernia. So after the surgery, I think the recovery period is relatively quick, and like I said, the pain is relatively mild. It's really not too bad, and that's primarily because they did not cut any of my muscles. They just simply spread them apart and they put them back the way they were after the surgery. So that is all I got to say for today. I'll have more videos to follow up coming up. One other thing I was going to do in one of my following videos is do a comparison between my x-rays and my MRI images, so that you can see what it looks like between those two. Until then, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.